So there's this part in the song where the songwriter says, "You know the rules, and so do I." And that's what we're going to be talking about today, the rules. So there's this part in the call center setting that you have to worry about called call compliance. And we're going to be exploring what that means a bit here today, especially for you because this is something that you can fail uh, on a per call basis depending on what happens during a particular call. All right. And um, you have the opportunity to be coached on any infractions that you may have, but it's a case where if you get too many infractions, you may be uh, you know given certain corrective actions or even transferred to another department if you meet a certain threshold, or even fired. So we're going to be looking at this a bit today. We're going to be starting off with this from 6 months ago with Courtney Rose, and what we're going to be looking at is her call compliance fail here. So I am beyond frustrated at this point. I failed another call evaluation because I accepted a phone number, the phone number from a third party on the phone with a customer. And supposedly I wasn't to accept the number because the customer didn't give it to me, but the procedure only says that I can't accept the passcode sent if read by a third party. It says nothing that I can't accept the phone number. The customer was elderly and I was getting assistance from another person. I want to fight it because it's not stated in the procedure. So I feel like I uh, shouldn't have been marked off. I should not have been marked off for it. All right. Besides, I'm also currently on 60-day PIP, which so I'm also afraid of, losing the job. So yeah, there's a lot to unpack here. So, all right. So every call center has their own. Well, let me not even say beyond that. Every department within the call center has their own compliance guidelines they have to kind of follow. That's outlined by the partner that is the person that the contract is with for that specific department or that part of the call center. And under that, there are many different things you can get dinged for, and this person got dinged for accepting a third party call. All right. So PIP is something I was going to make a video on shortly too, but it's one of those things that you have to worry about if you pretty much get a couple infractions that kind of stack up on each other, and once you reach a certain threshold, you can either be a 30-day PIP, 60-day, depending on what their rules and regulations are. So as I mentioned, so this person is actually afraid of losing their job, which is a good word to have. But if they are making good progress on whatever PIP this was, so this could be compliance as we're seeing it here, could be something related to surveys, it could be something related to adherence, whether that be like coming in late or other stuff like that also, or any other metrics that the call center may have, whether that be if it's a case that this sounds like an inbound call center or inbound department. If it's more outbound, it could also be placed on a PIP if they miss their dials. If it's like an outbound and they have to be like cold calling, they may have a certain amount of metrics per day they have to meet. So it just depends on what this PIP is, but I didn't explain it, so we don't really know. But they do have that, and this kind would stack onto that and put them in a worse situation to be able to potentially lose a job. But let's look at some others here. All right, so all you can do is appeal by explaining your reading of the policy. If you're already on a PIP, your job is very much at risk. However, in my experience, at least QAs want to at least see your understanding of it, not just throw you out So just explain your reasoning and hope for the best. It may not work out in your favor, but it's better than losing without a fight. All right. So let's see some others. So all right, let's give me a second here. Seething angry at QA for compliance call. So QA is one of the typically that's the name of who are gonna be the ones to handle the compliance in the call center. They do go by other names. You can just call them compliance also. But yeah, QA, quality assurance, is typically who's going to be managing that aspect. So let me click on this one here. So this is from Tails from call center, and seems the post was deleted, so we don't really have the context. But let's just see some of the comments here. You're not allowed to tell a customer when you can't hear them. What are you supposed to do? Just take your best guess at what they're saying. Okay. Alright, so I'm guessing that the original post was something about maybe the line being bad based on the context of what I'm seeing here. Okay. So this person's kind of agreeing with the first comment here. So if you can't hear them, you can't help them. The job was petty and took points off for quality assurance. For this, I would, well, if I'll definitely be looking for other jobs. Alright. Okay. I say it's a very it's different place to place, so it's not like you have a one set compliance level for all, like a industry standard compliance list that everybody kind of works from. It's more based on the client specific requirements. So like somebody that's working with, even if it's two similar companies, so somebody that's doing internet sales for somewhere like AT&T is gonna have different requirements than somebody that's doing QA for somewhere like Spectrum or Xfinity. It's just that's just the way it is. So maybe similar in the sense of similar that you have to do certain mandatory disclosures, but you may have different lengths that you have to read, or whatever else their compliance calls for. All right. Right, so let's read this. So call center compliance refers to the adherence to laws, regulations, or standards governing the operation of a call center. It encompasses various aspects including data protection, consumer rights, and ethical practices. And let's just tack on also whatever else the call center deems as requirements. All right. So yeah, so all right, so with this, so let's say you do something wrong and you get dinged for this. What happens next? You would be put into training, and that training would pretty much be you listening to the call, identifying what you did wrong typically, and then you and maybe the person who is your supervisor, direct supervisor, or somebody from the QA department will come in and discuss the call with you, see what you could do better if it's your first offense, and maybe you won't get any what are typically called compliance points, but it just depends on the situation, and if it's something that was like a minor infraction versus something that you were like actually trying to, or appear to be trying to cause issues. But yeah, so for specific training towards this, the call center will give you certain guidelines and rules you have to follow, but it just depends on what they have as their thing. All right, so yeah, that's the video, and we'll maybe do something on what a pip is very soon.